McDonald's is one of the largest corporations on the planet. They make over $20 billion a year in revenue, which is more than some countries, and they employ over 1 million people across the world. All in all, they likely sell more hamburgers in every passing moment than most people can possibly imagine. They're not just a restaurant, but a cultural phenomenon and a global institution with brand power, the likes of which its competitors could only dream of. But the history of McDonald's is not clean. In fact, the story of the company isn't just one of success, but of protracted court cases, nutritional controversies, outright lies, labor atrocities, and PR disasters. No company as big as McDonald's can ever survive for long without attracting a scandal, and these are some of the worst to have ever sullied the company's name. But before we start the video, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more company documentary videos. Please support the channel by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the video. We're working aggressively to grow the channel, and we need your help by subscribing. Your support means so much and is so appreciated. Thanks again. The first on our list is a David versus Goliath story. In 1986, an environmentalist organization known as the London Greenpeace Group, who are related to the ones you're probably thinking of, began distributing leaflets entitled "What's Wrong with McDonald's? Everything They Don't Want You to Know," in which they accused the company of a whole litany of offenses against nature, including deforestation, littering, and the mistreatment of animals and workers. The libel case which ensued, filed by McDonald's against 5 of London Greenpeace's members, was nothing less than epic. 2 of those accused, Helen Steele and David Morris, a part-time bar worker and an unemployed postman, went to court to prove their accusations against the company. McDonald's utilized a team of lawyers to smother the claims against them, while Steele and Morris represented themselves. The trial lasted years, and resulted in the British court ruling that McDonald's wasn't to blame for mass deforestation or starvation, but was at fault for pretending their food was nutritious and had consciously helped depress wages in the food industry. Morris and Steele were ordered to pay $60,000 in damages after the case, though this was later reduced to $40,000, and McDonald's, who spent over $10 million on their legal expenses, has never attempted to collect. Thanks to a lengthy appeals process, the back and forth between London Greenpeace and McDonald's lasted for years. But from day one, the notion of the McDonald's Corporation fighting 2 struggling workers proved to be something of a problem for the company's image. Scandal number 2 was the Liebeck versus McDonald's case, which was probably one of America's most infamous court cases. The story itself is well known. In 1992, a woman named Stella Liebeck was severely burned after spilling a cup of coffee on herself that she'd bought at McDonald's. She then issued a lawsuit against the company for it. The case itself became a legendary example of the frivolous lawsuit, and helped create a narrative in which it appeared that American citizens were levying lawsuits against companies, and each other, for asinine reasons. The truth, however, is a little different. Firstly, Liebeck suffered third-degree burns across 16% of her body, requiring her hospitalization for 8 days for skin grafts and other treatments. McDonald's offered her $800 for her trouble, and when she refused, the resulting court case revealed that McDonald's had been receiving complaints about the extreme heat of their coffee, 30 to 40 degrees hotter than that served by other companies, and that 700 people, including children, had been burned before. Apparently, McDonald's had decided that these were insignificant cases when they were selling billions of cups of coffee every year. Liebeck was awarded $200,000 in compensatory damages, reduced to $160,000 because she was judged to be 20% responsible for the incident. She also received $2.7 million in punitive damages, later reduced to $480,000. Finally, Liebeck and McDonald's settled for an undisclosed amount. The media, unfortunately, had a field day, and gleefully painted Liebeck as the villain of the story. Number 3 on the list was the Super Size Me film that arguably changed the world. Produced by and starring Morgan Spurlock, the documentary saw Spurlock eat nothing but McDonald's food for a whole month, recording the results on his body and mind all the while. He gained 18 pounds, suffered increased cholesterol, became depressed, and generally ended up looking a little bit like Grimace. The film's release was something of a disaster for the public perception of McDonald's. It opened up a topic of conversation that portrayed the company as a specifically negative force in society. Shortly after the release of Super Size Me, the supersize option was struck off the menu at McDonald's. Although the company has denied any link between the film and the decision to do that, the timing is unlikely to have been coincidental. Since then, fast food restaurants such as McDonald's have made a push to appear more healthy and nutritious, while America's gastronomic culture has seen a shift towards clean eating and health food, for better or worse. Number 4 on the list is the Virginia racism debacle. In 2015, 10 ex-employees of McDonald's in Virginia filed a civil rights suit against the company, accusing it of racism. According to the employees, they had been fired after supervisors suggested that there were too many black people in the store. On a single day in May 2014, 15 African-American employees had been fired, while those same supervisors had hired a number of white employees only a few months earlier. Conditions at the 3 franchise locations owned by Michael Simon were just as shocking. One plaintiff, Katrina Stanfield, told the court that she'd been regularly harassed, with supervisors claiming that it's too dark in here. Stanfield's discrimination appeal to the McDonald's higher-ups was ignored after her firing. While the nature of franchising means the McDonald's themselves aren't strictly to blame for the incident, the plaintiff's lawyer, Paul Smith, criticized the company for not doing more to protect its workers. And although it's unlikely the scandal hit sales too badly, an online petition calling for damages to be paid towards the workers reached almost 40,000 signatures. It was never revealed if the case reached a settlement. Number 5. Back in 2001, McDonald's was taken to court to fight a suit of $100 million after conceding that its restaurants had been frying its fries in beef fat. Although this might seem innocuous enough, the fact that McDonald's had done nothing to dissuade the perception that its fries were vegetarian didn't exactly go down well with the public. While the company had insisted only vegetable oil was used in the process, the truth was that beef fat was used at its food production plants before the fries were frozen, though that ingredient was listed as natural flavoring in the nutritional information, and then refried at each restaurant in vegetable oil. McDonald's promptly apologized, leaving itself open to a suit by lawyer Harish Bharti. Various Jewish and Muslim groups followed, since the use of beef fat is neither kosher nor halal. McDonald's ended up paying millions of dollars to the affronted groups, but still uses beef fat to produce its fries in the US. Number 6 is the legendary pink slime controversy. Nobody really goes to McDonald's for hot cuisine or fine dining, but most customers do expect their food to be made with some dignity at the least. Perhaps that's why people were so appalled when the whole pink slime thing happened, back in 2012. It was ABC who broke that particular story, running video footage of gross pink-tinted slime being produced at a food processing plant and revealing that this lean, finely textured beef was present throughout the fast food industry, McDonald's included. McDonald's, as well as a number of other companies, committed themselves to never using lean, finely textured beef, which is the pink slime. Although it's worth pointing out that the FDA did declare it to be totally safe, but regardless, the industry fell to pieces. 3 plants were closed, hundreds of jobs lost, and the company that had been producing the stuff for McDonald's lost $1.9 billion in business. Only 2 years later, however, sales had begun to recover. And in 2017, ABC settled a defamation suit leveled by the producer of lean, finely textured beef after a lengthy jury trial. Number 7 is the McDonald's Monopoly scam. The McDonald's Monopoly tie-in is one of the company's most recognizable and successful marketing schemes. First launched in 1987, the game was simple. You collect pieces of the board by ordering meals at McDonald's, and if you get enough of the right ones, you can win prizes, including a potential $1 million payout. It's a great idea and must have made the company countless millions of dollars. It's just a shame someone rigged it. An ex-cop named Jerry Jacobson happened to work at the company that printed the game pieces. He came up with the idea to sneakily provide people with winning pieces in exchange for a cut of their prizes. He got away with this for a whole 12 years, defrauding McDonald's for $24 million in the process. The company wasn't blamed for Jacobson's scam, but after the truth came to light thanks to an FBI tip, it gave away $10 million to 55 random customers as a way of saving face. After a lawsuit was issued against them, they then agreed to give another $15 million away at random to 15 customers. And they were forced to do it quietly so as not to drive up sales. That means McDonald's ended up losing a whole lot of money thanks to the scam, and didn't receive any real goodwill for giving back the money. The fact that they're making a movie about the whole mess is unlikely to help things much either. Number 8 is the fight for $15 minimum wage. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the Pennsylvania strike wasn't exactly the sole example of labor abuses committed by McDonald's over the course of its history. Again, in 2014, McDonald's workers around the world joined the picket line in protest against the company's low wages. Dubbed Fight for 15, after the hourly wage they were attempting to win, it saw strikes take place in 150 cities across America and 33 countries around the world. According to The Guardian, strikers in Brazil fought against wage theft, poverty-level pay, and mistreatment of pregnant workers. In Japan, they sought a higher hourly wage. In South Korea, workers protested against low wages, long hours, and the lack of stability in their employment. The strikes represented a form of mass solidarity between low-level workers all over the planet, the likes of which has rarely been seen in the history of industrial action. And every one of them were united by a single common enemy: McDonald's. It was not a good look. Number 9 and the final scandal is the CEO sex scandal. In 2019, McDonald's fired its then CEO, Steve Easterbrook, for cavorting, to put it politely, with a female employee. Easterbrook admitted his relationship with that employee reflected poor judgment. The company terminated Easterbrook without cause, enabling Easterbrook to receive a generous severance package. The company appointed a new CEO, Chris Kempczynski, but all wasn't well just yet. The day after Easterbrook's ouster, the head of human resources resigned amid rumors that he and Easterbrook had cultivated a corporate party culture involving booze-fueled outings at which high-level executives would drink heavily and sometimes ended up in compromising positions with staffers. By August of 2020, McDonald's had learned of at least 3 more employees with whom Easterbrook had affairs, and that there were photos and emails backing up the claims. Furthermore, one of those employees had leveraged her sexual relationship with Easterbrook into a stock option award worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, which, from a legal standpoint, would mean that McDonald's was showing preferential treatment to employees who capitulated to the pay-for-play culture. Oh, and did we mention that Easterbrook's severance package was worth more than $40 million? McDonald's has since sued Easterbrook for the return of the severance package, which the company claims it would never have agreed to had it known all the facts. And speaking of not knowing all the facts, in December a group of investors called for the resignation of 2 members of the board of directors for bungling the initial investigation that led to the decision to pay Easterbrook severance, according to Bloomberg News. Personally, I'm not surprised about all the drama McDonald's has been involved in. You don't become as powerful as McDonald's without being a hot mess. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about all the scandals McDonald's has been involved in. Have any of these scandals made any of you stop eating at McDonald's? I'm very curious. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more company documentary and news videos. And be sure to like the video as well. Alright guys, see you in the next video.